And our top story, Democrat deniers. Now, there's so much going on this day before an historic midterm election, but let's begin with the big message of this election. The party in power appears poised to lose big because it is denying, even belittling, the issues that most concern American voters. Democrat efforts to steer voter concern away from inflation, crime, and the border have failed. Americans are far more upset about inflation deniers than they are about election deniers. Even some of their own can't take it anymore. Take a look.
I'm a loyal Democrat, but I am not happy. I just think that we did not listen to voters in this election, and I think we're going to have a bad night.
And it's not just inflation. There's also the very real explosion of crime in America. It's of great concern to Americans, but many Democrat politicians are looking the other way. Here, too, even left-leaning allies have been criticizing Democrat crime deniers. Here's an MSNBC anchor cutting off New York Governor Hochul from absurdly bragging about her track record on crime. Listen.
Here's the problem. We don't feel safe. You might be working closely with Mayor Adams. You may have spent a whole lot of money, but I walk into my pharmacy and everything is on lockdown because of shoplifters. I'm not going in the subway. People don't feel safe in this town.
And then, of course, there's the open border, bringing in millions of illegal immigrants, as well as the scourge of fentanyl, which is killing hundreds of thousands of young Americans. While the administration shamelessly denies that the border is not wide open, many Democrats at the border are turning on their own leaders as they face the wrath of voters. And there are other issues, not least of which is Biden's continuing war on fossil fuels, which is a key element of inflation and a threat to our national security. And finally, there is the growing concern, we must say, about the truthfulness and the mental acuity of President Biden, which even some at the Washington Post and New York Times are now writing about. So much to talk about, so let's kick it off with one of the best analysts there is, Washington Post columnist, American Enterprise Institute senior fellow, and a Fox contributor, Marc Thiessen. Marc, great to see you.
Good to be with you.
Here
Good to be
in
with you
person
on set
in New York.
It's
I love
awesome.
it.
I love it.
All right. Well, have you ever seen a political party do their damnedest to completely deny that there are problems of those issues that Americans care about?
So think about this. We've got the worst inflation in 4 decades. We've got the worst crime wave since the 1990s. We've got the worst border crisis in American history. And they think the election is going to be on threats to democracy and abortion. I mean, here's what's happening. A lot of people thought this was going to be a red wave election, and it's not. It's a red hurricane. So what's happening is you've got this in August this summer, the Democrats looked up and they said the sky is clearing, the sun's coming out. We won a special election in New York. Abortion seems to be moving our voters. We're going to be okay. And they were just in the eye of the storm. And now the storm is coming back over and hitting them, and they're not ready for it. And they're still in the mode they were in August of talking about these other things. And when voters say, voters are saying, I'm concerned about inflation, I'm concerned about crime, I'm concerned about gas prices, I'm concerned about grocery bills. I can't feed my family and also pay my rent at the same time. And Joe Biden gives a speech last week saying, you're focused on the wrong thing, America.
Right.
I told you the most important issue is MAGA Republicans threatening our democracy. Were you not listening? Are you deaf? That's literally their message.
So much of what they have promised, so much of what they say just turns out to be flat out untrue. Yeah. Americans are, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that what they have been saying just doesn't happen. One example of that, by the way, the political violence that's going on. You continue to have President Biden suggests that it's all on the right. In fact, just last week he was saying that same line again. Rolled that tape.
There's an alarming rise in the number of our people in this country condoning political violence or simply remaining silent, because silence is complicity.
This weekend, we had white powder and a threatening letter found in Kari Lake's campaign headquarters. Gunshots were fired into the family home of a Republican House candidate in North Carolina. Zeldin, of course, Lee Zeldin, who's running for governor of New York, was attacked on stage by a violent nutcase. The violence, you look at who's suffering from this political violence, and far more examples of Republican candidates than Democrats.
So the shots were fired in that North Carolina Republican candidate's parents' home while his kids were there. And that was the day after Biden gave that speech, in which he said in that speech, Republicans are threatening the very foundations of our republic. They're threatening our democracy. This is the most important thing. Is he responsible for that? Of course not. Of course he's not. Nobody is responsible for violence except the people who perpetrate the violence.
Right.
But they're very quick to jump when anyone attacks a Democrat, that they say, don't you dare blame us for it. When a deranged Bernie Sanders supporter tried to assassinate Steve Scalise, they said, don't you dare blame Democratic rhetoric. But they don't wait 2 minutes in the first minutes for coffee before they blame Republicans.
And by the way, he said silence is complicity. Those are the president's words. I have heard nothing but silence about these most recent attacks on Republicans.
Very true.
All right. Tomorrow, you asked some questions in the Washington Post, 10 big questions that we will find out about probably tomorrow or maybe a few days later. But one is that in 2020, a lot of people, even though Donald Trump lost the election, no Republican in Congress lost his reelection bid. Not one. There were 15 seats that turned over from Democrat to Republican, but no Republicans lost. What about tomorrow? What do you think is going to happen?
The question is it going to be a single Republican incumbent? Is it going to lose, or are we going to continue the unbeaten streak for another election?
That's extraordinary.
Yeah.
Plus, you have this extraordinary new group of candidates from Republicans. We focused on 3 of them last week. We had 3 of them come in here. Anna Paulina Luna from Florida, terrific woman. She's a vet. She's married to a vet, a guy who served honorably overseas. She was terrific. Hung Cao from Virginia. He was captain in the Navy, served in Special Forces for 25 years. He's a newcomer. John James from Michigan. Now, he's run before and lost, but it looks like he's going to win this time in Michigan. So these are very attractive candidates that are coming online from the Republicans. I don't see the same lineup, the same backbench in the Democrat Party.
No, and I don't see it, unfortunately, in the Senate for the Republican side. I mean, the Congressional Committee did a much better job of recruiting candidates. I think Josh Kraushaar reported from Axios that 70% of the candidates who are contesting Democrat seats, who are challenging Democrats in Biden -5 districts, are women, minorities, or veterans. So they did a fantastic job of recruiting these candidates. The Democrats, what they did on the other side, and this is one of my questions, is they went and spent tens of millions of dollars trying to nominate MAGA candidates. After Joe Biden gives 2 speeches saying MAGA candidates are a threat to democracy, they went. Here's my question I want to see tomorrow is, do any of those people get elected that they got nominated? Dan Baldock. So they in New Hampshire, Chuck Schumer's PAC spent millions of dollars on ads trying to defeat Chuck Morse, who was the Senate minority leader, who is a much more moderate Republican, tying him to Mitch McConnell and all the rest of it. He got Baldock nominated. Baldock's up ahead by like 1.4 in the RCP average right now.
They were believing their own propaganda, their own lies, their own misinformation. By the way, the big lie on voter suppression is also, we also know that that's not true. They spent millions of dollars trying to convince America that all these new voter laws, particularly in Georgia, were voter suppression. They were going to cause voter suppression, particularly in minority communities. It turns out that was all a big lie. In fact, CNN had a headline from the time at which they were trying to convince Americans that that's what happened. Look at this headline from CNN. Biden slams GOP vote restriction bills as sick and un-American, while Georgia moves to suppress the vote. That's the headline from CNN. Georgia is moving to suppress the vote. Well, guess what? We now know that their voter turnout was beyond all expectations, particularly in minority communities.
Yeah, so they called it Jim Crow 2.0. They compared Republicans who supported these election integrity laws to George Wallace and Bull Connor and Jefferson Davis. And these are the President of the United States, in his own words, said they were enemies of America, who are people who are doing this. We got the receipts. Early vote is completed in Georgia. 2.3 million voters, shattered the record for a midterm election, surpassed the 2016 presidential election. So you have a midterm that had more voters than that.
Yes.
Black vote up from 27% in 2020 to 29%. So the black vote, not only did the overall vote increase, but the black share of that vote increased. There's your Jim Crow 2.0.
You know, I'm not surprised that partisan Democrats came out with lies about that, but all those woke corporations, including, by the way, the Major League Baseball that moved the All-Star game out of there, they followed suit. They followed the lies and perpetuated lies. It was just cost
them $100 million in lost revenue, including minority-owned businesses.
It was horrible. It was horrible. All right, the final question there. Give me a wrap. But the turn on Biden. It's already begun. We have the Washington Post saying they've run out of Pinocchios for the lies that he spun. New York Times is saying similar things. How soon after the election do you think they really try to convince him not to run?
I think it's going to be very quick, and I think it's going to be public. I think they're going to say, look, and what will be interesting is how quickly do Democrats start echoing the Republican concerns about Joe Biden's mental competence? They start saying, look, you got through the Inflation Reduction Act, you got through the $1.9 trillion in social spending, you've done your job.
So here's your gold watch.
Here's your gold watch. It's time to step. You said you were going to be a bridge to a next generation. Well, now it's time.
Marc Thiessen, the best of the best. Thank you very much, Marc. Appreciate it.